All right, so here's the deal. I went briefly over what it means practically to be and create in the third dimension. You know, you have to get all your geometry and your time coordinates together in order to effectively use your talents to produce in this third dimension. However, when you approach the fifth dimension, you are still using time and distance coordinations. However, they're a subset. You know what I mean? It's kind of like if you're baking a cake, of course whether you bake a cake in the oven or you bake a cake you know, in the sun, I mean, it's possible. But either way, you got to have a pan. So something to contain the batter. So just look at creating in the fifth dimension. You're still using third dimension reality. However, the actual creative aspect is bumped up into the higher dimension. Fifth dimension creativity is more so coordinating with the spirit and the spirits of others through common frequencies. And when you are able to coordinate with someone in a certain frequency, now that's when you get into God being in the mix, because he has more control over the fifth dimension. He has released a lot of control to us here in the third dimension. He still ultimately controls it all. But here in the third dimension, we can kind of move around and make things whatever we want them to be to some degree. However, in the fifth dimension, it's more of a collaboration with powers that are beyond us, with the powers that make us who we are. One of those main powers being frequency. Frequency it exists in the third dimension, it exists in the fourth dimension, it exists in the fifth dimension, and probably higher than that. But when you coordinate from a place of frequency, now you start getting into synchronicity. So now synchronicity becomes your guide more so than time and distance. And that is a very, 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 very oversimplified way of describing creating in the fifth dimension. It's all about being on the same wavelength. And when you're in the same wavelength, you can bypass time, but it still helps to be in time. So when you bypass time, it puts you back into time through synchronicity. And but then you might say, okay, well, what happened to the fourth dimension? So how do you create in the fourth dimension? And I have to keep peeking up to make sure I'm still recording. There's a red light that shows me I'm recording, and I can't see it until I look up like that. But okay, so what happens in the fourth dimension? Well, the fourth dimension, I believe, and this is just my belief, personally, is the schoolyard for the fifth dimension. So in the fourth dimension, this is the time when this is the time, place, space where you go into a cocoon, where you go into school. I call it the school of frequency. So now you are learning the different frequencies and what they do and what they're about and what they bring forth and what they produce. And then you will begin the process of aligning yourself with certain frequencies that basically give you the power and ability to create in a higher dimension, to create through synchronicities and harmonies and things of that nature. But it's just like training. It's like basic training for creating in the fifth dimension, because in the fourth dimension, you're more so trying to align yourself with these frequencies and with these realities that we all are constantly fighting. You're either in alignment or you're out of alignment, point blank period. The frequencies always exist. But when you get into the fifth dimension, it's more of a collaboration with other souls and beings that have already went to school and learned how to align themselves. So now when you get into the fifth dimension creativity, you're just doing you still, but the act of you doing you puts you in an arena where you can coordinate and actually co-create with other 5D creatives. So you must master the third to some degree. You must accept it for what it is. And you must yield to the fourth so that you can have the opportunity to peek your head in and out of the fifth. And in a nutshell, so if you want more understanding, yes, I'm still recording. If you want more understanding about this and the actual community that I'm building around 5D creatives, then I would strongly urge you to go to my website, benjamintheodore.com, and there is like my rabbit hole to go down many different paths on this 5D journey. Benjamin Theodore, founder of the Grassroots Collective and the Fifth Dimension Music Group. Looking forward to collaborating with you in and out of the fifth dimension. Peace.